Hello, we are live. Hi, everyone. We're live from the INKEY headquarters. I'm very excited to be here, actually. I'm Bjorn, and I'm a session and celebrity hairstylist, and I'm gonna be here with the INKEY today. And it's gonna be an exciting day because we're gonna talk about a lot of different things. So it's all about hair hydration today. But I'm going to show you a few really interesting hairstyles. They're quite easy to follow, which is good. So you don't need to be scared at all. And I'm going to show you a bit of product layering, how I use the INKEY products, hair styling products. And by the way, this is the first time that INKEY has a hair masterclass live. So I'm really thrilled to be here with all of you. I have 3 models here today. And we're gonna be working with all of those. It's 3 different hair textures, so it's gonna be really interesting. And obviously, it's just ahead of the festive season, so I can inspire you hopefully with a few little tricks and tips that I've picked up over the years when working backstage at Fashion Week, or when I get celebrities ready for red carpets. You know, you always see these little tweaks and tricks so that everything looks perfect and stays in place. And I would love to share those little tricks with you today. You can pop in during the live any questions, and we're super excited then to answer all of those. We will pick a few. Obviously, we can't answer all of them tonight, but yeah, anytime, pop a question in. And after each hairstyle, I'm going to do a little Q&A. If there is any particular question, you can always pop them over. Okay. Great. And if you love what we do, please like and comment at any time. All right, I think we're ready. For everyone who's just joining, hello, I'm Bjorn. I'm a session and celebrity hairstylist, and I'm here with the INKEY today at the INKEY headquarters in London. And we're gonna get started with the masterclass, I think. I'm gonna get my first model in. That's Barbara. Barbara, do you wanna come in? Everybody welcome, Barbara. I'm gonna give my chair over to you. We have prepped Barbara's hair already, as you can see, so we can save a little bit of time. We've used one of my all-time favorite, which is the Hyaluronic Acid. This is kind of my hero hair product from the INKEY because it always works. It's just, it doesn't matter what kind of hair texture you have. It's just the best starting point because you need to prep your hair well. Because you know, when you, no matter what kind of hairstyle you want, you need a great base to work on. And the hyaluronic acid, I always put into towel dry hair when we start. And it just smoothes the cuticle. It fights frizz. And I know everybody who's styling their own hair always wants to be frizz-free. I must say, though, it's really hard to be frizz-free. I think 100% frizz-free is almost impossible. I mean, I don't know if you, yeah, agree. I think it's for everybody. It's really, really hard to be frizz-free. And I think it's almost impossible because when I am on photo shoots on a beach and people say, oh, can we please have no frizz? There's always wind, you know, there's always something happening. So, and even if you just walk down the street, it's almost impossible to be frizz-free. But we can help with the hyaluronic acid, for instance, because as the more hydrated your hair is, the less frizz you will have. And on Barbara, I want to show you today, it's a really kind of beautiful classic look, yet really cool and modern at the same time. So Barbara has a really cool bob haircut and natural kind of movement throughout the hair, which we enhanced by tonging the hair. And if I just gonna show you a little bit in profile, we have this lovely spinning chair. So we have kind of waved the hair throughout. And before I did the blow dry, I also added some of the shea oil, which always creates extra shine. And Barbara's hair looks absolutely amazing after doing that. I'm just going to show you quickly how I actually use the tong, because I feel like people always want to know, how do I actually tong my hair? After I did prep Barbara's hair, it's like, how do you do that this stays this way? So it's always about direction when you tong the hair. So I'm just going to show you actually from this side. Can we do that? Can you still see me? Yes, perfect. I'm just going to do it on this side and show you how I've used the tong. So when you use a section, kind of this thick maybe. I just want to show you. You want to tongue the hair into one direction from one side to the other, so it kind of gets the same movement. Once you brush it, you just want a gorgeous kind of wave. And when you hold the tongue vertical and put the hat backwards like that, then you're just going to create beautiful waves that are going away from the face on this side. But when you obviously tongue it the same way all around this way, it's going to go inwards. And we want that on this side so that the curl kind of ends towards the face like that. And you're going to create like a beautiful kind of finish. And just to finish it off, I'm going to add some of the shea oil. Just going to show you. I'm sure you guys know this one. It's the shea oil nourishing hair treatment. And I'm just going to use a few drops as a finish. Put it in my hands, rub it in. I'm just going to add it on top to get rid of all the flyaways and to get some extra shine into the hair. This side we're going to tuck behind. And this side will be coming forwards. Just like that. Amazing. I mean, we're very lucky because Barbara has a really good bounce to her hair as well. So after we tongued it, it's just kind of bouncing. But you can see the shine. Let me just show from the side. You can see the amazing shine that's being created by the shea oil. Absolutely gorgeous. Just gonna brush that to enhance the movement and direction of the hair. And you can see even more from the side. Gonna adding a little bit more of the oil towards the ends. And here you can see how amazing, like a waterfall. Beautiful. Let me just show the other side as well so everyone can see. Yeah, wonderful. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just brush it, smooth it out. And because the shea oil is here as a top layer, it creates this beautiful shine. Amazing. Oh, okay, that's actually a really good question. So once you tongue the hair, I would always kind of leave it to cool off. And once the hair is cooled off, you can then brush it, because whilst it's still hot, that's the moment where the hair texture is changing. So you always want to wait until it's cooled off, and then you can kind of brush the hair. But because we're ahead of the festive season, I just want to add a little extra bit of glam to all of this. So I have prepped a few silver bobby pins that I will just add to the hair. So on this side, because originally, to be honest, I was planning it to put it here on the side, which would also be really beautiful if you just use it here on the side. But because Barbara has a bit of a fringe situation, we were talking about that earlier. So we kind of want to get rid of that weird moment. And I think lots of people can relate when you feel like, my fringe is at a really awkward kind of stage, awkward length. It's a really good trick if you add those bobby pins, and I picked silver ones so that they're actually visible. And if you just add them here to create a really interesting effect. And I will use more than one. So it's a bit of a statement. That looks amazing. Maybe let's show from the side so we can see it a bit more. Can you see that? Maybe if you tip your head a bit more this way. Yeah, I think that's quite good if you just keep it there. I think that's lovely. And it even enhances the whole kind of movement of the hair. Looks fat from the front as well. And obviously the great thing is that we have sorted that weird kind of fringe moment, which is obviously really helpful. But I just want to put some on this side as well. You could just keep it on one side, but I think it might be quite nice actually to have it on this side as well. So let's turn you so everyone can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's amazing. My God, that shine. God, I hope everyone can see that on camera. It looks absolutely amazing in real life. Yeah, just gonna add on this side maybe just 2, so it's not too similar on both sides. Great, that is amazing. Obviously, it's quite nice because obviously Barbara's hair is dark, so it's nice to have the contrast with the silver. What do you think? It's quite nice, no? Yeah, I love that. Really good. And the nice thing is obviously because we prepped Barbara's hair with the hyaluronic acid, the hair is really hydrated, full of moisture. And then just to add the shea oil on top for the extra portion of shine, I think it's fabulous. Cool, amazing. Let me show you all one more time from the side. Yeah, ooh, that looks good. Love it, really good. Okay, perfect. So if there are any questions slowly popping up that you want to ask, please don't hesitate. Just send us some questions over. Okay, I'm seeing, oh, there's the first question. What's that? I have to go a bit closer. Should you be using different products based on how thick or thin your hair is? Oh yeah, 100%. I think it's a really good question actually, because I feel like when you go into a drugstore and you're just trying to find the right product, you're so overwhelmed by the amount of products. So you always want to find products that are right for your hair texture. And obviously, when your hair is finer, you want to use products that enhance usually volume. You still want to add hydration as well. And when your hair is thicker, you kind of want to smooth it more. So try to pick products that are quite lightweight. For instance, the hyaluronic acid is the perfect base for literally any hair for any hair texture, no matter if you have really fine hair or if you have really thick hair. It's a great starting point. And for instance, when you have really thick hair, like for instance, Barbara, you have really high density, don't you? It's really, really good. Let me show you just from the side again so you can see. Although the shea oil is kind of designed for any hair density, any hair texture, it's great when your hair is really thick and you put just on top this really lovely layer of the shea oil. Amazing. Great.
Usually when they use a lot of products in my hair and like shoots and stuff, it just feels really heavy.
Yeah.
Really clammy because
yeah.
I have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
But this doesn't make it feel.
No,
right.
it's amazing.
Like
yeah. And it doesn't matter what kind of hair thickness you have, you always want it to feel kind of light and natural, isn't it? Although, you know, the nice thing is you almost can't overload the hair with these products because they are so light. And you're going to see later on Ella, who has like really thick kind of curly hair. When you use more like the chia seed curl treatment, it's really nourishing because it has a different texture as well. It's a bit heavier in texture. So it just has a different impact, obviously, on the hair then. But the nice thing is really, especially all the INKEY products are very, very light and really easily absorbed as well. But it's great, and you can see the hair still moves. Although I've just added a few more drops of the oil, but it still moves. It doesn't get kind of, you know, like dries in a weird way. It's really lovely. It's just gonna stay that way as well. Great. Is there another question? Okay, there's another question coming through. Okay, let me see. What's that? My hair is super greasy and never holds curls. What would you recommend? Oh, okay. Well, so greasy hair, obviously, the most important thing is that you kind of want to wash your hair before you start curling it, because the drier the hair texture is, the easier it is for the hair to hold the curl. When you have very greasy hair, obviously, you want to kind of fight that grease in the long run. There is, for instance, the salicylic acid scalp treatment the INKEY has as well. So you could use that pre-wash, and you get rid of all kind of like flakes, all build up on the scalp, all grease. And it's amazing to use that maybe like twice a week. And the less you wash your hair, the better actually. So you kind of almost have to train your hair to not overwash it. I know everybody always wants the kind of freshness every day and washing it, overwashing it. I know it feels great to have freshly washed hair, but especially when your hair is really fine and greasy, you kind of want to train it that you don't have to wash it so often. So if you wash your hair maybe every 2 to 3 days, that will be ideal. And after a certain amount of time, you need to wash your hair less. I know in the beginning it feels a bit weird, but really try to wash it as less as possible, and your hair will get less greasy over time as well. Okay, I don't know if they're, yeah. Okay, there's another question. Can you read that for me? How to stop hair loss? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that is a very complex question, to be honest, because hair loss can come from so many, can have so many different reasons. So it's really kind of hard to pinpoint it straight away. But obviously, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can use, obviously, the right shampoo, conditioners, but you would definitely need to see a trichologist as well to really find the actual reason why you're losing your hair. It's really hard to see it from the outside. It can have literally a million reasons, but there is a caffeine treatment as well, the INKEY has, which kind of helps, to help hair growth. And you would use that as a like a nightly treatment, and that can help and will help, hopefully, but it's really hard to pinpoint it. So you would kind of ideally try, dig deep and find the actual reason why you're losing your hair. I hope that helped. Okay, and there's another question coming through. What's that? Will hydrated
hair hold a style for longer?
Oh yeah, 100%. So that's kind of the question. I kind of spoke about this in the beginning. So if your hair is prepped really well, and with prep, I also mean it's hydrated really well before you actually style the hair, your hair will hold the hairstyle 100% better, 100% better. So also when the hair is freshly washed and there is no kind of heaviness to the hair, your hair will hold any style way better as well. But that's why I always love to start with the hyaluronic acid hair treatment, because that is literally a hero product I can't recommend enough. And also when I'm working on set, I would always start with that product because it is the perfect base for any other hairstyling product you might use afterwards, because it smooths the cuticle and it's like a prep as well for any other hair product you would use afterwards. And the better you prep your hair and the more hydrated it is, the easier it will be to literally hold the style for longer. Great. Is there Okay, great. I think this is it. Let's gonna have a last glance at this beautiful hair. I mean, look at this. I hope you guys can still see, because I feel like the shale has been really beautifully absorbed, but it's left this beautiful shine, and it just feels amazing. The hair feels really soft. Let me show one more time the other side. Yeah, look at this, guys. I hope you can see it as well as I do. It's amazing. All right, we're gonna move on to the next model then, okay? Thanks so much, Barbara. Okay, see you later. Thanks so much. All right. Next with me is Ella. Ella and I actually have a bit of a history. I mean, not crazy history, but come on in. We've done a masterclass together before, haven't we?
Yes,
and that was really fun. So I'm so happy that we're together again. And the nice thing is, as you can see, Ella has this amazing curl. I mean, it's such a beautiful curl pattern. I mean, I told you last time how much I adore your hair, but it's honestly, it's true. You can, I mean, look at this. It's just beautiful. We have prepped it already, and again, I have started with the hyaluronic acid hair treatment to add loads of hydration and moisture to the hair, and then to lock it all in and to add more nourishment, we've used the chia seed nourishing curl treatment, and it gives this beautiful definition throughout the end and really nourishes the hair throughout. It's just beautiful. Maybe let's show your hair from the back as well quickly, so we can just have a look what your hair looks like. Yeah, great. Just so everybody has an idea. Perfect. We've start sectioning it already. That's why you can see a bit of a clip in there. So it's easier when we start with a hairstyle. Yeah, but I think I mean, I'm sure you're gonna agree as well with me, Ella, but curly hair is just drier by default. So you need a lot of moisture, and I know it's always a bit of, you know, a mission to wash your hair and, you know, to kind of define it and get all the moisture in there as much as possible. And I think really important as well is kind of product layering. So you always want to start with the runniest or the loosest texture of your product, and then build it up to the kind of heaviest texture, if that makes sense. Because your hair obviously absorbs the more watery ones way more easily than the thicker ones. So that's why we started with the hyaluronic acid, which is way more runny, very, very light. And that added really great hydration. Then afterwards, we just added the chia seeds, which is kind of more of a creamy texture, a bit thicker. I'm gonna show you the hairstyle I was planning to do on Ella, and then after at the end I'm gonna add some more of the chia seed just to show you as well how you can at the end define the hair even more. All right, let's start. Maybe I can show in profile. Is that okay? Maybe I push you forward just a touch. Yeah, amazing. That's it. So I'm gonna section the hair. I've cheated a little bit, I must say, to save some time. So we're gonna section the hair in two parts and create two ponytails at the top of Ella's hair. And we're gonna use two bungees. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but I feel like especially if you have curly hair, you wanna. I think you use this anyways, don't you?
Yeah, I use this all the time.
Because I always feel like that when you use a bungee, it's way easier. So you want to know what a bungee is, obviously. So people who don't know, so this is a bungee. I don't know if you can see that. Is that okay? So it's basically an elastic, and on both ends of the elastic, it has hooks, or one hook on each side. So and then obviously the elastic in the middle. And the thing is, no matter what kind of ponytail you create, you don't have to loop the hair through the hair tie each time, and you would obviously kind of destroy the curl, right, when you loop it through each time. And you've worked so hard to create like a beautiful texture. And so that's why I love using these bungees on curly hair. All right, so let's start. We're gonna create two ponytails. I'm gonna start with the lower one in the back. Let me see if we can all see that. Is that okay like that? I hope. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Okay, ponytail numero uno. It's gonna be here. Some giggle in the background. Don't know what was so funny, but okay. So I'm gonna have this one ponytail kind of here, a little higher, because the second one will just sit above the other one. All right, let's see. I'm gonna start. Oh, by the way, in the office, my lovely assistant Karen, who's always handing me all my products. All right, so sorry, I forgot to mention. So if you've never used the bungee, I should probably explain what it does. So if you use one of the hooks and you hook it into the ponytail, and then you wrap around the elastic until it's tight, or as tight as you would like it. And then the other end, the other hook goes in there, and then you have created the first ponytail. And you see, I didn't kind of touch the end of the curls because it's so great when you can just maintain the texture that was built up in there. All right, second ponytail. And I will actually leave a few strands out in the front. Maybe just turn you a little bit more, so we have like a 3/4 kind of moment. So I'll leave a few strands out in the front to kind of give a really relaxed feel to the hairstyle as well. Perfect. Gonna take one down here. All right, let me show in profile again. Perfect. All right, so here is the second ponytail. And as you can see, I'll quite loosely, because I want to still see the curl that is in the top, in the crown of the hair. All right, second bungee coming in. Same thing, you hook it in, and then you just loop it around. And once that's in, I hook the second hook in there as well. All right, and you can, guys, you can see hopefully that we have created these two ponytails. I might turn you a touch more to the back, yes, so everyone can see. Amazing. Yeah. Two ponytails. Okay, perfect. I still like it if it's quite loose around the hairline, so you can still see that you actually have curls. I mean, obviously you can do this style with any hair texture, also when your hair is straight or wavy or even curlier, anyone can do this. But I just want to show you this because it's actually quite an easy thing to do, but quite impactful. So if you have those two, I will just create a knot from here and knot those two ponytails together, as you can see. And it's just a little bit more interesting than having a normal kind of ponytail. So from here, I will just use a few of U-pins. Now the big question is, what is a U-pin? This is a U-pin. I hope you guys can see that one. Yeah, all right, I'm just gonna put those in just to secure the knot I created. And I will do the same thing again. So we have created the first knot and I will do a second one. It depends on your hair length really, but because Ella has quite long hair, I can do 2 knots. If your hair's shorter, you would probably only be able to do 1. And I will just secure that again with a U-pin. And you can see you have a bit more width basically than as if you had just one simple ponytail. Maybe let me show from the front now. So and I kept those little bits out. I think it's quite nice to have that. Move you a little bit more sensible. Yeah, perfect. I think that looks right, beautiful. And I quite like that it's loose. It doesn't have to be like super slick back. It's a bit more loose, quite nice. Okay, can we use some of the chia seed, please? Because I want to show now, once this is there, I think it's quite nice, isn't it? Because you still have some playful bits on top, but then it's quite interesting from the side because you have these, obviously the partings that we created as well. So I'm going to use our beloved chia seed curl treatment, the nourishing curl treatment, which I love. And it's quite a lovely texture. It's a little thicker, but it's lovely. And from here, just to define the curls and the ends, I will just use it and distribute just really lightly throughout the end. So you keep the ends extra hydrated. And you can create a few more defined bits if you like. But let me show from the front again so we can see a bit more. Lovely. Amazing. Maybe for the front as well. I'm just going to use a little bit more. And we'll use some more product here. And as soon as you add it, you can see that the definition immediately kind of bounces back. Because these bits were almost not straight, but a little bit straighter. But as soon as you add the product, it literally bounces back. It's so amazing. I love that. Let me show a bit more from the side. Yeah, I can have it just a touch more. Perfect. And I'm going to show you guys on this side as well. See, this is quite frizzy right now, but as soon as we add the cream, it literally bounces back into a more defined curl. Just a touch more. And we do the same thing here. I mean, look at that. This is amazing. Magic potion. All right, just showing them the front again so you can see the final look. It's quite nice. It's just a bit more impactful than just having like a normal ponytail. And if you want to, you could show even more parting from the side. It's really like down to your own taste. But I think it's just nice to have it like that. And especially if your hair's maybe a bit shorter in the back, you can literally get all the hair up, because sometimes it's quite hard to get everything in one ponytail. So this is quite a good trick to get shorter bits in as well when you have those two ponytails. And you can either show that you basically created this parting, but also you can hide it depending on what you like. So yeah, I wonder if there are any questions popping up for this kind of hairstyle, because you can at any time send us over some questions, either regarding the hairstyle I just created, or if you maybe want to know more about how I work with curly hair. Okay, so let's see what's here we go. How should I layer my hair care products? Okay, I mean, we kind of spoke about this a little earlier, but I think the most important thing really is that you start with the kind of loosest, runniest texture. I would always start with like the hyaluronic acid, for instance, as I said earlier, something that is really kind of more on the watery side of things, because that's really easy for the hair to absorb. And then you want to kind of move on to the slightly heavier textures, slightly more thicker textures. And yeah, and then you can create really beautiful styles like this. Great. Okay, is there another question? Here's another question coming through. Let's see what else is out there. What do we have? How do I maintain moisture in my hair during the winter months? Well, I mean, this is quite a big question as well, I always think, because I feel like every year people wonder, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know, it's the new season. And I think you can really feel it in your skin, in your hair, because you still want it obviously to be warm. So you will be in heated rooms. You know, there will be a lot of central heating, and your hair is as your skin, it will dry out more easily. So you really, really have to take care really well of your hair during the winter months as well. So for instance, although you want the heat, I know it, try not to use too much hot water when you wash your hair, for instance, because this will, you know, just kind of not be great for your scalp. You just want to keep it more kind of on like a medium temperature, and it's the same for the hair. So just try to keep the water levels kind of on like a medium heat. I think it's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah, because I feel like you always kind of want really hot piping water, but yeah, it's better if you kind of keep it on like a medium level. And obviously with all the dryness, you just need to add as much moisture as you can to your hair. So again, it's always my favorite. The hyaluronic acid would always kind of be my go-to. A good trick as well, what I love as well, when I, for instance, color my own hair, or if I color other people's hair, I love to add a bit of the hyaluronic acid to the actual hair dye. I don't know if ever anyone has done that, but it's really nice because you basically add more moisture to your hair even whilst you're dyeing your hair. So it's quite a good trick. And then I would always obviously use it afterwards. You can also add an extra portion of an extra portion, not easy word. You can always add an extra portion of moisture, for instance, to your hair mask. So you can always mix some of the hyaluronic acid into your hair mask and then apply it. So lots of things you could do.
How often would you say to do a hair mask?
A hair mask?
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the hair texture, I would say.
Okay.
So like for your texture, I would almost say every time you wash it. I don't know how often you wash it, but maybe like once or twice a week. So if you wash it, I would probably do a mask, because
after the wash.
after the wash, I would still do shampoo, conditioner, and then a hair mask at the end if you can.
Yeah.
So I think it's because obviously that's that extra kind of level of moisture that you want to add to your hair and hydration. And it's quite tricky sometimes, because when people think, oh, when I'm using conditioner, that does, you know, that means I don't need a mask.
Yeah.
But a mask has different kind of levels of hydration. So it's like more like deep hydration. And but obviously the finer your hair is, the less I would go closer to the roots.
Right.
So when your hair is fine, just kind of use it from mid lengths to ends. But your hair needs it everywhere. I think for curly hair, you know, because it's just a different kind of texture, because the curlier the hair is, the more bonds are in one strand. So, and the more bonds, the curlier the hair is. And it's really hard for all the moisture to kind of go down all the way, because obviously it has to literally go down all the spirals. And that's why it takes really long time for your natural oils to kind of reach the ends of your hair. So that's why you ideally want to add it from the outside as well, because otherwise it would take way too long, obviously, to go from here down to the ends. All right? Yeah. Okay. 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 Let's see if there's another question. There is. I have a really thin, straight hair. What products should I be using? So I think the thinner or the finer your hair is, you really want to stick to very, very lightweight products, because everything that's kind of heavy in texture will weigh your hair down. So try to stick to really, really light products. Again, I would use the hyaluronic acid hair treatment or the peptide volumizing treatment. I haven't mentioned that yet, because both of you girls had really, really thick hair. So the peptide volumizing hair treatment, you can use also on any hair texture, no matter if your hair is straight or if it's curly. But if it's fine, you can always add the peptide volumizing treatment as well. So I would always kind of combine hyaluronic acid for all the moisture and hydration for your hair, and then you can afterwards add the peptide volumizing treatment. So I think that combo is amazing. I quite actually use that on my own hair as well, because I have a lot of hair, but it's still fine. So I think that's quite a good combination, hyaluronic acid with the peptide volumizing. All right, let's see if there's another question, or shall we move on to the next girl, to my next hairstyle, because we have a few more, one more amazing hairstyle for you. Okay, let's see, there's another hair question, Let's see. I have really curly, thick hair. What product should I be using? Well, I mean, that's kind of almost what your hair texture is like, isn't it, Ella? So when your hair is really, really thick, like Ella's hair, you would really use the chia seed curl treatment. I think it's such an amazing product, because as I've just shown, when I use it to here in the front even, although it's quite a heavy, like creamy texture, but it's still more like the effect of a serum. So once it's kind of dried in, it's not visible anymore. It's quite amazing. So I would still start though with the hyaluronic acid hair treatment for all the moisture, and then layer it with a chia seed curl treatment. I think that's quite amazing. And again, it's so amazing. Although you add it, you can't see it, and you can't really feel it either. I don't know, Ella, do you want to touch it for me? Can you? Because the hair absorbs it, and I mean, of course, it feels smoother, hopefully.
But you don't feel like I've got the product.
Yeah.
It just feels very, yeah. You know how sometimes when you have a really thick product, or you put too much product on, it feels almost like crispy, and
yeah,
it looks great sometimes, but just doesn't feel very nice.
It's not my favorite look either. I don't know,
No.
crispy doesn't sound right. It doesn't go with hair, does it? I feel like hair and crispy is probably not the right combination. So I don't know, that's why I always prefer, especially for curls, if you stick more to kind of like a creamy texture. I feel like that your hair will look better after. Also, when I prep hair on set for photo shoots, I feel like a cream always lasts longer as well. I mean, it's I know it's personal, you know, it's down to your personal taste, and some people prefer kind of like a thicker, like a crispier texture. Crispy, I don't know why I'm saying crispy, but you know, something that's a bit more. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, Ella. We're gonna move on to someone else. I have India for you guys as well. Here we go. Hi, India. I'm good.
Good.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm feeling
Good, amazing.
Feeling fresh.
Fresh and ready for a hairstyle. So as you can tell, all our models today have very, very different hair textures. India, thank you. India has a lot of hair, but quite fine. It's almost like my hair, I want to say. I mean,
it is like your hair.
Do you think that?
I think it's the same.
I mean, we're almost twins, I guess, but so I think that's quite amazing, because I can show you how the INKEY products work so differently as well, yet all of them are really hydrating. And I think that's always the key, especially now in the winter months, ahead of the Christmas season, you know, when you go maybe out to a lot of parties, you just want your hair to look its best, obviously. And on India's hair, maybe can I show you in profile? Yeah, like that. I think that's quite good. Maybe I'm just gonna show everyone your hair, because it's really beautiful and shiny as well. So we have also started here with the hyaluronic acid hair treatment for lovely hydration. You can see there's beautiful shine in there as well. And after that, we use the peptide volume treatment. And it really depends on how you blow dry your hair, because I feel like although you want volume, you don't want it kind of like ridiculous on the roots. I mean, of course, we want a little bit of kind of lift on the roots, but you don't want it like a 60s beehive kind of moment. So that's the nice thing about the peptide. And there is not really too much what I kind of figured out. I mean, of course, you don't want to overdo it, but you can use a really good amount of the peptide roots to ends and then blow dry it. And your blow dry really kind of dictates on how voluminous you're actually going to get your hair in the end. For India, I have prepped a nice look for you guys as well.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And the nice thing is as well, India, you're going out tonight, so you can actually keep your hair. style.
I am going out tomorrow. The fact that you know that as well.
I
Where
know.
am I going? Where am I going?
I know, because you're meeting the in-laws for the first time. So it's actually really exciting, you know, and I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I can create your hairstyle for tonight.
Yes, you can.
So it's actually really exciting for me as well.
Please, nothing too crazy.
Okay, I promise it won't be too crazy, but it will still be impactful. So I think that's quite nice. You want something, you know, that people can see, oh, she made an effort, but you don't want it to be kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I thought we could maybe do, let me show you in profile, please. So what I want to do is create a plait on each side, connect it in the neck, and then have maybe an extra little tip at the end. So let's see. We're going to start. After we prep the hair, I'm just going to section this. Can we see this? Maybe let's move a little closer to the camera. Yeah, I think that's quite good. Maybe just tilt your head this way. Perfect. All right, for what I'm going to create here is just a simple 3-strand plait. So we need 3 equally wide strands, and I'm just going to create a plait. I'm going to plait extra slowly. I'm sure people kind of know how to do, but you know, this could also be me, just to save some time. Just going to do a lovely plait.
He plaits.
Here we
so
go.
Fast.
I've done it once or twice before, maybe.
Like a ninja.
All right, let's secure this with a see-through elastic. Although you won't really see it, but I still think it's nicer if you use a see-through one. So it's really kind of invisible. And then can I actually turn you the other way, please? So this is plait 1. And we're going to do the same thing here. Actually, let me move you forward just a touch so we can see. Yeah. So we're going to use the same thing on this. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Just drop it a little bit this way. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. It doesn't have to be exactly the same thing, but just roughly the same size. Okay, let's move you backwards just a touch so everyone can see. Actually going to go to the other side. I think that's actually easier. Is that okay like that? Yeah, that's better. Perfect. All right, I'm going to start again. I just lost this. See this? Even although I'm doing this all the time, it can happen. So here we go. Let's plait it. I'm trying to be a ninja again. We can do it very slowly. This is how you plait. But then I'm trying to save time. I'm just going to be doing it like that. Perfect. Here we go. I'm just going to secure this again with a see-through clear elastic. Okay, here we go. What I want though, I don't want it just kind of hanging down. What I would love, that it kind of works almost like to hold back the rest of your hair. So I will kind of secure it behind your ear in the neck. Can we see that? Okay, I'm gonna turn you even further so we can see you from the back. Yeah, all right. From here, I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm just gonna keep, this is actually an amazing trick, by the way. I learned this a few years ago. Well, probably more than a few. Can you just hold this one up for me, please? So here we go. This is the one plait. And I have the second plait from the front. So I will just be combining this in the neck with one little strand that I keep out. So if I kind of one more elastic, please. And here in the neck, can everyone see that? If you just drop it maybe this way, just a touch. So I will just connect those 2 plaits with one strand in the neck, so it will be kind of tied here and stay there. Right, so let the head down again. And then when I turn you to the front, you can see That was a nice little trick. So you basically created a hairband. So you have the plait, and it's just secretly connected in the neck with that one little strand. So it will stay there. All right, you can, if you wanted to, you can just keep it here. Leave it as it is, but I have one more little thing that you could add in. And I'm gonna turn you one more time to the back, India, so everyone can see your beautiful hair from the back. I will just create a very low kind of ponytail with another clear elastic. I want this to be quite loose, so it looks a bit more casual. So here we go. But to make it a little bit more interesting, I prepared a black ribbon, and I will just loop this around. Just tilt your head back a touch more, yeah, so everyone can see. And I will create in the neck just a really beautiful kind of loose bow. And here we go. I think this is quite a nice little statement, isn't it? Because it's quite simple, but I think this is quite so beautiful from the back with that light hair and then the dark. But you could also obviously do the opposite. If you have like dark hair, I would probably choose a lighter color. And you can also give this a little bit of a lift, a bit of volume, and add some texture to it. Amazing. Let me see from the front again, India. And like that, obviously, it's beautiful. Now we expose the plaits. And you could, if you don't want the ponytail, you can just keep the hair down. But I think it's such a nice detail that you have a plait here. Let me just push you forward a touch so we can see it a bit better. Yeah. Wheeling you around. I think it's quite beautiful, isn't it? You can see it like that. Yeah. I mean, your in-laws will be so impressed.
Thank you. I look really smart. Look. They'll be like, how
Yeah.
did you do it? I'll be like, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Should have watched the live.
Amazing. And you could just keep it as it is, you know, and you can add the bow if you want a bit more drama, basically, if you want it just to be a little bit more extra, but you can also just keep it with a simple elastic. So I was wondering if there are any questions about the hairstyle or about the hair, the fine hair. Let's see, there's one. Should I use the same hair care product every day or should be switching it up? Well, it's actually a really, really good question. And I get this all the time. I feel like you want to switch it up because your hair after a while is almost kind of full with all that kind of product that you were using. So it's great if you switch it up from time to time. You still want to obviously stick to hydration or whatever your hair texture is and then kind of have the right products that are right for your hair texture. But you can obviously switch it up what kind of hydration you are choosing. And I don't know, India, if you've experienced this before as well, but after a while, I feel like a product almost stops working for your hair. Did you experience that?
I
Yeah.
have a lot of issues because my hair is also because my hair is quite fine.
Yeah.
But when I do blow dry it and I do all the fat to it,
Yeah.
the ends always get like worse than the top of my hair.
Yeah.
And actually, when I came in, you guys saw it had me.
Yeah.
Like,
We prepped it a little bit. But luckily, the INKEY products obviously helped a lot as well. But you're so right. It's actually a good point as well because the roots are always so different to the ends, isn't it? Because obviously the hair towards the roots is younger than the ends because you know we all know it takes forever to let hair grow, and you know by the time you reach this kind of length, it's probably a year or two depending on how fast your hair grows. But so the hair at the ends, you know, gets dry so easily. So that's why you always want to kind of keep the hydration levels in, and especially from like mid lengths to ends. And I don't know, India, if you experienced before as well, but I feel like, especially when your hair is a little bit finer, because I know that from my hair, as soon as the products are too heavy that you're using, like the next day you think, oh my God, my hair is greasy.
I need to wash it.
Yeah, although it isn't actually technically greasy. Yeah, it's just the wrong product for your hair. So that's why, especially when the hair is lighter, you want to keep it light. But I think you should switch the products up from time to time. But also, if you find something that really works for you, of course, stick to it. So I don't know if there's another question, but I think there are a few more questions. What do we have? How can
I tie hair flat at the back if I'm on my own? Looks amazing, but tricky.
Oh, okay. It's actually a good question, but it's actually not that tricky. I don't know.
Or do you want me to? So you have plaits, you have a little bit of back. I mean, it's not hard.
It's actually not hard, is it? I mean, because you can always just use a clip, you know. So after you plaited the two plaits in the front, you literally everything that you don't need, you just put it up with a hair clip and just keep that one little bit out down at the neck, and then you connect it. I think when you kind of reach down, do you think you could do it? Yeah, it's not too hard, is it? I mean, I think it looks tricky, but I think that's the nice thing about this hairstyle in general, because it looks quite impactful. It looks like, wow, what did she do? But it's actually quite easy to achieve, honestly. After you plaited those, just connect it in the back, let the rest drop, done. I think it's actually quite easy. I mean, maybe I'm just saying that because I'm doing it quite a lot, but I feel like if you know, maybe you want to rehearse if it's like an important dinner or something you're going to, but if you meet the in-laws, for instance, but I feel like, you know, it's not too tricky. But I think any hairstyle, even if it's like a blow dry, you have to practice in a way, because I'm always so impressed when people can blow dry their own hair. I think, wow, if you are able to like a really good bouncy blow dry and you can do that yourself, I'm really impressed, because I feel like the angles are always the hardest thing. And it's also when you create these kind of hairstyles, it's always about the angles that you want to get right. Maybe let's have another look from you from the side as well. I think it's quite good to see again.
The thing I would say actually was when you were doing it and you put the little bits into like sections and then you put it up, it makes it easier to do it on your own because you're not like holding this bit here,
Yeah,
holding that.
yeah.
You did it all with like just the two hands.
It's true, yeah. Okay, I think, yeah, what you said, India, is just that it's kind of easier, obviously, after you kind of sectioned it. It's not that hard because you don't need to hold this one up whilst the other hand is doing something else that's really kind of difficult. So yeah, I think it's quite, I don't know, I don't think it's that difficult, but I don't know if I'm the right person to make that judgment. But there's another question, I think, coming in. So let's see what that is. Do you want to read it for me?
Can you use a hair mask after
Okay.
your hair?
Can you use a hair mask after you conditioned your hair?
Yeah.
100%. But I think it really depends on your own hair. So if your hair is really dry, I would definitely do it all. Like I said to Ella earlier, who has our kind of afro hair, curly hair texture. If your hair is drier, by default, you really want to do it all. You want to do the conditioner and the hair mask. Maybe if your hair is not as dry, do the hair mask only once a week. But the drier the hair, I would definitely do both. I feel like, I don't know how it's for you, but I feel like your hair, because it's a little bit finer, you maybe don't want to do both.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either with my hair. You wash it and then you would either do the mask or the conditioner. So I would kind of, the finer your hair is, you know, you would kind of probably not do both. So maybe alternate it. But there's another question coming in. Let's see what that is. How do I keep my baby hairs to stay in place if I want to do a tight, high ponytail? Oh my God, wow. See, we're getting really technical here. So there are different ways of how you can kind of achieve that. So you want to keep all the kind of mini flyaways away. So I would use the shea oil again, like what I showed maybe in the beginning on Barbara as well. Just use a few drops of the shea oil. We can actually show it on your hair as well, because it's really lightweight. And I'm just gonna take it. I don't know if we can see it, but it's literally just, I'm gonna use like maybe 2-3 drops. I think that's enough. Can you show in profile again? Because I can see there are a few flyaways. I mean, I don't really mind it because I feel like it gives a bit more life to a hairstyle in a way. So from here, I would just use this, and you can just brush it on top of the hair and making it technically a touch heavier by that. And that's how you kind of reach all the flyaways. And that's the same thing when you do a high ponytail. You can do the same thing again. Maybe also put the oil in your hands whilst you're creating the ponytail. So you can kind of, you know, add the oil whilst you create the ponytail. If you need something heavier, and obviously we know oil is lovely, but if you need something heavier, my good trick is where you can also use hair gel, obviously, and use it with with a little brush that you would apply hair dye with. So I would kind of use the, I would put the gel into my palms and then use the little brush and just kind of brush the flyaways away with the gel. You can do the same thing with the oil if that's enough for your hair, but depending if your hair is really wiry or quite hard, then you would probably need something heavier. But otherwise, yeah, you can just use the oil. I think the shea oil is perfect for that, especially when your hair is quite light. I think there's another question coming through, so let's see what that is. How often should I be exfoliating my scalp? Oh, that's a really good question as well. I think, again, you know, all those questions, it's everything is so individual because everybody's hair, everybody's scalp is different. So you kind of need to see, why do I exfoliate my scalp? Do I want to get rid of maybe a product buildup, or is it flakes I want to get rid of? So it really depends on what you want to achieve and how quickly your scalp or your hair is reacting as well to the product. But I think you should probably, if you have like really like strong concerns, you should probably use it like once or twice, or you know, pre every of your first washes, and then maybe just once a week once you kind of resolved all the problems. Really, really great as well. The glycolic acid is amazing after you, for instance, dyed your hair and you have some residue on your scalp. You know, there's always a bit of kind of chemicals staying on the scalp. So it's really great to get rid of all of that. Or if there's a lot of product build up on your hair, because you've used a lot of product or you haven't washed it in a little while, it's amazing. It's a really, really great pre-wash treatment, and you can just add the glycolic acid to the scalp, leave it on for like 5-10 minutes, depending on your scalp as well. And then, yeah, just get rid of it. It's really good. Okay. My God, I can't believe that this is already the end of our live. I mean, how fast did this go? But it was amazing. Thank you so much for everyone. Okay, bye, India. You're leaving me. Okay. Oh, she needs to cough. Okay, that's fine. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining. It was such a pleasure to be hosting this live masterclass, and it was so great to see you all. Thanks so much for joining in. It was a real, real pleasure. Don't forget that there is always #AskInkey on the INKEY list Instagram. So if you have any question about your hair or how to use the product, you can always use the #AskInkey, and they will get back to you as soon as they can. It's 24/7 there for you. So yeah, and tomorrow there's another free masterclass with the INKEY list, and you can learn how to do a winter facial. Sounds great. I'm definitely going to be tuning in. Okay, so thanks so much again, everyone. It was a real, real pleasure to be here and to see you all. And I hope to see you very soon again. All right. See you soon.